All right, let's get this over with. Eventually, yes, I did watch the final two Doctor Who 60th anniversary specials. Didn't watch them on Disney, though. But anyway, I mean, after the Davros thing, and then, oh boy, there was no doubt where it was going. And then the first episode, ugh. Which, I guess if you're going to measure them out, it's still the worst of the three, but I don't know. The last one gave it a run for its money, but the second one, Wild Blue Yonder, almost had something, and this has been the case for quite a while with Doctor Who, is that you almost get a Doctor Who episode. Nothing spectacular, nothing, great or what have you, but just, hey, could I at least hope for an adequate one, Because by the time this was unrolling, I figured that was the most optimistic outcome. And then the Davros thing was announced. I said, okay, no. Not even getting that. So it had this they show up on a mysterious spaceship. It's beyond the universe and all that sort of thing. And then some creepy entities in there. Unto itself would have been all right. But first and foremost, had to race swap Isaac Newton, which is just, I don't know, that's some idiot thing that the BBC does. I think it was like Moffat weighed in on that and says, well, we have to, because it's just the stupidity of it, I think, is apparent. So, so they do that, but then that's just to set up so we can reveal that the Doctor is homosexual now. Which I guess it's saying, hey, they're different people each time a Time Lord regenerates. That one's a hard one to take. The swapping races or genders and whatnot, theoretically you could finagle that, but because I know people like to think that there's some DNA sequence there, and maybe, but it seems like it would be a combination of things. Nobody knows for sure as far as orientation goes, but good Lord. But no, that wasn't the point at all. This is the thing about regeneration. They don't really explore it as a science fiction aspect in Doctor Who. I suppose the old show sort of did here and there, but the current thing hardly ever. Yet they'll take these great leaps with it. So anyway, Donna says it was always apparent just beneath the surface. No, it's just that's the stumbling over your own stupid type thing, where it's just the laziness and the lack of professionalism in maintaining your narratives. This is a woman who witnessed his love for Rose Tyler, who is a woman. And that whole thing. And, witness his sadness at not being with her and all that type of stuff. So the dialogue makes no sense whatsoever. But just got to toss it in there, even though he's only a few minutes away in the next episode to no longer be around, or so we thought. Yeah. So you get that in there. Then finally, what about the timeless children? Well, of course, we had the dialogue for that to get, Tennant to be all upset about what the flux entailed, which he's more upset about it than Jodie was. But because, look, he's the better actor. And then, okay, they figure out what's going on, and it's resolved. And interestingly enough, it takes a while. It has to work at it, which is unusual. A lot of times these, especially new Doctor Who, and okay, the majority of new Doctor Who, everything's whipped up like magic at the end with the sonic screwdriver doing everything, or something of that nature, zipping around and making smart remarks here and there, and then it's over. I mean, once in a while, but good Lord, or there's a grandiose speech, or both, and that sort of thing. But here, not so much. It realizes what the dead captain had done. There's a lot of creepiness to it and horror elements, and it's too bad. But it's one of those examples of just giving you a little tease. We could have done a pretty good Doctor Who show, but we're not gonna get it. So anyway, race-swapped historical figure, gay Doctor Who, and then, of course, yes, reaffirming timeless children. All right, so then the next episode, finally, the Celestial Toy Maker, which I would have thought, and I guess just through dialogue, they set it up that he was behind everything, but he really isn't. There's not a whole lot there. They never explain the Doctor regenerating in a previous incarnation. They don't explain the clothes regenerating as well, which would have come in handy at the ending. But you just have to, in this day and age, you're the unpaid writer who has to fill in the blank of the unfinished scripts for these shows. Hey, your guess is anyone else's. So, Doogie Howser could have made a good villain, but he didn't have anything to work with. Worst of all, they had him do a dance and song act, which is terrible, and just stumbling around stupid stuff. It doesn't really matter. It's some interesting, creepy-looking aspects of the toy maker's own dimension, which he tricks the Doctor and Donna into, and that sort of thing. But it's it's just atmospherics and moods and stuff. And then finally, the toy maker puts the Doctor through it, signaling out that he had a lot of failures. Even Adric gets thrown into the mix here, little nods here and there, and then tells him that his golden tooth is actually the master that he captured. And in the dialogue, he says, "I made a jigsaw of your history." So, all right. Theoretically, yes, you could extrapolate from that Timeless Child was all the work of the Celestial Toy Maker. You could even throw in the Time War, as it manipulated time all over the place. So the Doctor Who universe, as you knew it, technically no longer exists. It's there's something in its place and it's different and that sort of thing, leaving room for something like Timeless Child. But then again, it always comes back to, well, it's manipulated. It was not the real story. It could be revisited or whatnot. Although apparently Davies himself just laughs it off, So maybe, and it's just left there. Again, doesn't even explain the aspects of these specials. It doesn't explain the regeneration or what have you. So then finally, Tennant's 14th Doctor is going to regenerate into Shooty. And so Toymaker shoots him, and then he starts regenerating. But it's different this time, and he doesn't mean like when Peter Davison said it. No, Donna and who else? Oh, Mel. Yeah, Mel shows up. There you go. There's your special guest star for the special. So they pull the Doctor because somehow he just knows he needed to do that, and he splits into two, and there's Shooty Gatwa with no pants. So the clothes split between them. He got the shirt and tie, the underwear and shoes. Tennant kept the vest and I guess undershirt and no shoe, but he had the pants. See, if you just regenerate the clothes as well as he did the first time around, then Shooty wouldn't have had to be running around in his underwear. But then again, well, you know. so anyway, they beat the toy maker because he has to obey the rules of whatever game. He loses the game, and then the doctor tells him he wants him out of existence, but basically he just turns into he collapses in on himself, and then they lock him up in a box where Kate Stewart stores it in a basement. I'm sure that'll take care of him forever. Anyway. So that was the doctor's wish. But hey, there's two of them now. So Shooty wishes for two TARDISes. And so he hits it with a clown hammer, and now there's two. So that the doctor can retire and live with Donna and her family and all that. Yeah. So, the only reason to dislike this isn't the terrible writing and the bad plotting and all that sort of stuff and all the virtue signaling and tokenizing. Oh, no. The only reason is because you're some sort of homophobic bigot and that sort of thing. But, hey, you know what? I'm not the one who denied Shooty Gatwa the opportunity to play the Doctor. That was RTD. Because now, he's like a derivative clone of the original Doctor. The original Doctor's retired. He's going to live out all eternity at Donna's house, I guess. Or when they die off, I guess he'll hop back in the TARDIS and, I don't know, materialize on a beach somewhere. But anyway, as for the 15th Doctor, who essentially is the first Doctor of this version of the Doctor, and I see how they went. But still, he's not the Doctor, you know. He's just another Doctor. So you see how that works. Well, at least he gets a better deal, I suppose, than poor Joe Martin did when Chibnall tokenized her. So, you know, she only got one episode, really, and a cameo here and there. Maybe Big Finish will throw her something, but provided there's still interest in Doctor Who after this. This is devastatingly bad, and it's over. I seriously doubt that I'll be doing any reviews of future shows. I intended to, just from this, there's not a lot there to judge what kind of Doctor Who show Shooty would do, but based on what Davies appears to be interested in here, yeah, not for me, and I don't see any point. So that's it. Doctor Who's dead. There was a chance for a regeneration, but nobody cared. Nobody with the ability and access to do anything about it. Plenty of people care, but I'm afraid they won't be getting Doctor Who this Christmas or any other. There's a lot of these franchises. Which ones could be salvaged? None of them have so far. At this point, technically speaking, Star Trek could be revived. Basically, all you got to do is just do a Star Trek show and just forget everything else. But with Doctor Who, and after all of this, I seriously, nobody's just going to, like 10 years from now, come up and do a new Doctor Who show and pretend, maybe, and just ignore all of that. An actual reboot would have to be done, I suppose. But I don't know. It had its moment, and you lost it. And I think that's it. Probably the same for Star Wars. Probably the same there. But Star Wars is a little different there in that moment they had with the original cast, and they blew it. That kind of thing wounds it. But that's about it. Again, come back to, well, time to move on to something else. So I don't want to be here for this. I loved Doctor Who since I was 12 years old. And it's just another example of being teased that you're going to get more of something that you loved. And they lied. I mean, you got some moments. I was never really a big fan of New Who, but there were some good episodes in there and some good moments. But other things was like the tease, and it's like Peter Capaldi, who even now I say was the best of those new Doctor Who actors. But he really never got anything worthy of his talent, and it was just like, damn it. I'd rather he'd never have been cast if that's how you're going to treat it, But anyway, that's that. Only got a handful of classic episodes to review, but I will do them. I intended to go forward with the new ones and review those. I'll have to think about that. But that's it. The rest of it is just looking at the past and thinking about what might have been. And that's just where it is. So anyway, there you go. That's my take on what is obviously the end of Doctor Who.